Hey, T-Bone here. Gonna go over my bow setup from soup to nuts for 2022. We're getting on into season, and I just wanted to share this with you. It seems like you guys love for us to go over how we're setting things up and give a little backstory of why we're doing certain things. And maybe there'll be a tidbit in there that can help you out. But I'm going with the Hoyt VENTUM Pro 33. I've always liked shooting a longer axle-to-axle bow. Appreciate the partnership, the long time, over 25 years with Hoyt. That just shows how ancient and old I am. But nonetheless, we got a VENTUM Pro 33 here. I went with the military looking green. I thought that with them offering this type of wilderness colors, that this is going to be the first time that, or the closest thing I'll ever come to being on SEAL Team 6. So we got the VENTUM Pro 33. I like the longer axle-to-axle. Binary cam system, which has been working out great for the last couple years. Starting with the string, of course I got the D-loop. I use the Dacron soft knot system that we've been using, and I'm not going to say I invented it, but we've certainly been using it, me and a couple other guys here in Georgia, and I guess across the country now too. D-loop, making sure that the knots are opposing. Got the old booger button on there, and we're using the Specialty Archery. It looks like a big old peep, and it's got a lens in there for these old eyes that need readers so I can see my pins clearly. Old guys, look it up, Specialty Archery peep. It's a verifier, got a lens in there. If you get into a bad situation, you can take it out with your fingers so that you can see clear, but otherwise you got the lens that's in there so that you can see your pins crisp and clear, basically like the Fountain of Youth. Coming back down, you see the old Ninja? My son gave me that when he was about 5 or 6, and I've tried very, very hard on every bow each year to keep the old Ninja on there so that you got that ninja attitude when you're shooting at the deer. And plus I can remember my son Archer and him thinking about me all these years on hunting trips. Got a basic dead ringer sight. I think that thing's $49.99. A lot of people give me a lot of flack about shooting a basic sight, but man, it doesn't rattle. It's really lightweight, and the pins are, you know, set up to my likings, and I got that top pin painted. We call that the poacher's pin, and then of course I paint my 40-yard pin with a silver stripe so that I got quick reference and I know how to work off of that. There's the pins there. Virtus. The rest, it's a drop away rest by HHA. That's been tried and true for us. Tightest tolerances of any drop away rest I've ever used. Take that, try that. You know, the rest is very important. You know, you can obviously see with me, you got the inexpensive sight. Spend your money on rest, release, arrows, and bow. Save your money on stabilizers. If your budget, you know, if there is a tight budget, you can go with a lesser sight, you can go with a lesser quiver. Heck, you can tote your quiver, use a 5-gallon bucket for your quiver. Naturally, we tie this on here. We put the polar fleece on here. We tie it on there so adverse conditions, it's always going to stay in place. Grip, I like to have a little tack on there, so I actually, this is just some baseball wrap. I think I got it at a sporting goods store or whatever, but it's really, really, really thin. Wrap that around my handle. I like that. Got some things coming grip-wise. Can't wait to share with y'all in the future. Also, True Ball, same beast. We got the new Beast Hybrid that's out this year, and I actually got one of those I'm playing with. This happens to be the one that's just on my bow now, but that's the one we've been shooting for swept-back trigger. Same exact release that we started with in 2007, 2008, and it's tried and true. They ain't no telling how many freezers that thing's filled, as well as arrows shot. Coming on down, these bows are sub-parallel limb bows, so that the lunge of the bow in yesteryears, older years, the bow had 45-degree angles, therefore the bow wanted to lunge forward. With this design, where it's a sub-parallel limb, the energy is transferred up and down, so the bows don't lunge as much, and you really don't actually need a sling. But I'm old school, you know, tournament background. I like to have something on there so that psychologically, when I'm shooting, I know that I can shoot with a relaxed grip. Bow's not going to fall. Don't have to flinch. Don't have to present torque or tension into my bow arm. So I leave that on there, so that helps me psychologically make sure that the bow ain't going nowhere. I've changed up on my stabilizer system. One, with me being an amputee now, I know I'm going to be hunting out of ground blinds a lot. I'm going to be on the ground a lot, so I don't want something that's real long that's going to be clinking around inside the blind. They've got these V-posts right here, the short sticks, that have made it really nice so that you can set your bow down. We've really loved it. We have our knockbuster tournaments on Thursdays and stuff here at the house, and it's nice to be able to put it down anywhere. So I went with the double short stops. The way this riser is engineered, as well as having a stabilizer unit in the front of it, I'm getting away. This thing is shooting as if I've got a 6 to 8 inch stabilizer, but I'm getting away with it because the riser design allows me to put a shortstop there, and then in this position I'm going to be adapting the new 6.0 Tacticam in here that'll go right in the end of my shortstop, or if I choose to, I can take this off and put it right to the riser. So that's going to be a +2 gathering footage in the field. Gosh, what else about this bow? Super duper smooth. Good thing about it, it's got adjustable let off 80 or 85. I like to hold a little bit more weight, crisper shot, shooting good back tension, and then of course it's adjustable, you know, 4 to 5 inches, so it's going to fit a lot of people. Waxing the string, make sure you just wax the fibers, don't wax the servings at all. You want to make sure they're intact, but I am really loving this bow. Super duper quiet. This is their flagship bow, and even if you wanted to go a little more elite, you could choose their carbon riser, which is the RX7. I think Waddell, that's what he's shooting. But both bows incorporate all the same technology and basically are the same geometry, other than the makeup of the riser is a machined riser on the Ventum, and then of course the RX7 is the carbon riser. So lots of nice little features, and that's going to be my setup. And hopefully, actually just got an armadillo last night, so this one's already drawed blood. Got some great spots set up, and look forward to getting out there and hunting this year. Going to be a little different, hobbling around, but arms still work, shoulders still work, real good. Bow shooting real good, just points from A to B is a little different this year. Arrow, let's talk about arrow. You can't have a complete setup without an arrow. So from the start to the finish, we are using an Apollo, a Cirrus Apollo arrow. It's a boutique company that has, in my opinion, probably the best carbon arrows as far as like tight tolerances, spine alignment, as well as the tolerances is straightness wise, grain weight wise as well. On this end we have a glory knock. I use the OEM knocks as well, but on this end we've got a glory knock. The reason I like the glory knock is because I'll show you right here, like when you turn it on, like let's just you clip it on, and then when you shoot it, it comes on. Simple as that. Now to turn it off, all you do is put it back on the string, and then you touch the side of it like that. Oops. Turn it back on, and it's off. You press that little button there. You don't need your knife, you don't need a tack or anything like that. So it's really easy on and off. It is the lightest weight lighted knock there is, and it looks very OEM-ish, very similar to the OEM. Alright, coming on down, we've got the Flex Fletch. I've always been a fan of a 3-inch vane, and this year, as just I have in the past, probably Flex Fletch is the vane I've shot the most, and I keep coming back to them. From a tournament standpoint, they have the best memory. They are not a plastic mold. They are actually it's a formula, and then they're poured, so it's not a plastic injected mold. So you can see that they're rigid, but yet you can crimple them up, and then like this, we're doing a test right here. We've got one crimpled. It's been like that, and you can let it loose, and if it's in ambient temperature, you know, 70 degrees or more, it'll pop back just like that. So it has excellent memory. They've lasted for years. I've got some laying around here. It's been fletched for 15-20 years. So I'm going with the Flex Fletch vane. They make a Silent Night, as well as this one, which is the 3.0 Apollo Sirius. This is a 204 diameter. It's I'm not going to say it's a smaller diameter arrow, but it's not a micro. In my opinion, and it's been proven through the Ashby Foundation too, all your arrow has to be is 5% less than the diameter of the ferrule to have maximum penetration. So this is certainly that. So anything like a 246, 204 or less is going to get you the maximum penetration. I like shooting a little bigger diameter shaft. And then we have the Ethics components, stainless steel, all real fit finish. The great thing about this is that insert is actually about that long. It's 115 grains, so I'm increasing my FOC, I'm increasing the mass weight of the arrow. It weighs 508 grains, and then this is the stainless steel outsert system, so to aid in and help with structural integrity, because if this end of the arrow blows up on some type of bone, you're done as far as getting into the cavity. So you need this to stay together. Long insert helps the static spine. Outsert is stainless steel, which caps over this so that you have no blowouts with a broadhead or whatever. And then of course, this is the fill point that comes with it through the Ethics system. And then it's going to be anything in North America, 508 grains. And of course I'm going to be using the Mega Meat. G5 though, that's the great thing about G5. I'm so happy. All steel, they got the Montec, they got the Striker, they got the Dead Meat, which is the little brother to the Mega Meat. They've got you covered from soup to nuts, whether you're shooting a 40 pounds all the way up to 80 pounds. Whether you're shooting anything in North America, they have got you covered. The great thing I like about this Mega Meat, and we've talked about it in some other posts, is the blade design is not a chop, so it's not up like that all the time. It's like down like this, less than 45-degree angle, so that it is a fillet cut, and it is 3 blades. Most of your expandables are 2 blades, and that's a 2-inch slice. This right here, if you'll look down through here, I'm going to pull this blade into you. That is a 2-inch 3-blade. 33% more blade, which is going to do more damage, massive hemorrhage inside a critter. And it's all steel, so that it's going to penetrate well, hold together, and you're going to leave one heck of a hole. The snap rings right there are so easy to load back up. You can see I'm doing it, and the blades are sharp, especially on the Dead Meats with the V2s. They have the Lutz blades that are extremely sharp. They will cut you before God gets the news. They're that sharp. So that is my setup, I think. We've covered the arrow, we've covered the bow, we've covered the release. Bushnell Optics, I actually just happen to have them right here. This is the fuse. That way it's got the binoculars that has the active sync inside there, so that it goes from dark and it shows you red lighted so that you can see it in dark situations, so you don't have to hold them up to the sky. And this is a 10x42 binocular and a laser rangefinder incorporated all together, and it has the arc technology so that it shaves the yardage on steep downhill or uphill angles. So that is my optics for this year, an all-in-one, if you will. Fusion X, Bushnell, and man, that's it. Pour you out plenty of Big and J. If you ain't baiting, you're waiting. And happy hunting, folks. Have fun with it. No matter how you do it, celebrate it and have fun. If you like this, by all means, we'd love for you to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and comment below. This is my setup for this year. This is the Hoyt Bone Collector Edition. Boom!